Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotworld.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this reading, I'm using the Crystal Visions Tarot. So before I get into the reading, I just want to let you know I've got my webinar this Wednesday on how to connect the cards in a tarot reading. So if you feel like you're sort of tired of just reading the cards individually on their own and you want to learn how to connect them and kind of see the big picture of a reading, that's what I'm going to be focusing on in my webinar. So if you're interested in taking part in this webinar, it is $25 and you get a replay of the webinar and a PDF. I'm going to put the link in a pop-up in this video. I'm also going to put it in the description below if you're interested. Okay. So we'll get into the reading. So the first card represents Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. Okay, and right away we've got the Hierophant. And this is probably one of my least favorite cards in the deck. He's very authoritative and kind of bossy, and I feel like this represents kind of rules and limits that we experience in our life. So I feel like the beginning of the week, we might sort of feel like, we might feel a little bit trapped in terms of freedom and things that we can do. And we might kind of come up against, certain limits and rules. And another interpretation of this card is this card can represent institutions. So things like, education, government, things like that, military kind of institutions. But how it relates to us this week, I feel like it relates in that we're going to be meeting with people who might try to either tell us what to do or tell us that we can't do something. So it could be friends, family, or just even random strangers who tell you that something isn't quite possible, or that, you really should be following the rules and doing something more orthodox. So those of you who have more of a kind of a rebellious spirit or a eccentric nature might find that you feel a little bit of pushback from those around you. Now let's see how this all pans out. Okay, so as we move into the week, things kind of get a little more easier, a little more peaceful. We've got the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is when it comes up when our energies are calm and at peace. So if you've been feeling really, maybe really mental, like you've been overthinking things, or you're feeling like there's a lot of energy and a lot of stuff happening, this is a card of calm and quiet. It's time for you to just kind of rest, take your breath, and you can either reevaluate where you're going to go next or just kind of enjoy the downtime. So it's a very stable card. Energies are very stable here. This is the midweek time is a good time to kind of spend some time at home, just, curled up on your couch with a good book, or doing kind of home activities, whatever that is for you, gardening or cooking or whatever. Yeah, it's not a card of, a lot of upheaval or adventure. It's just a really nice relaxed card. So it feels like, and I always read the center card as being kind of the theme for the week. So it feels like, this is a good week to just relax and spend some time at home. Now moving on to the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've got the Ace of Swords. Now this is exciting. As we end the week, there is a new beginning. The aces always represent a new beginning. And often the Ace of Swords is a call, like a call to action, a call to take the initiative on something and take action and do something. And it's probably something that you may have been meaning to do for a while, but you've always kind of put it off. You've had excuses. The time hasn't felt right. You may have been hesitant in the past, but this weekend is the time to just kind of take the bull by the horns and go for it. It's also a time to, I feel like the Ace of Swords is also about clearing clutter and kind of getting rid of anything that feels excessive or heavy, anything that kind of complicates your life. So this could be physical things like, just junk that you have around your house, clutter, stuff like that. And it could be mental clutter, and especially since this is a swords card, Ace of Swords, I feel like this really does have to do with a lot of mental clutter that we have. A lot of the negative thoughts we have, a lot of the worries and anxieties we have, a lot of them are kind of unnecessary. And I mean, we all have them, and I don't want to say don't think negative thoughts because that's impossible. But I think if you find yourself feeling bogged down and heavy or stressed out, notice what your thoughts are and then question whether or not those thoughts are they absolutely necessary? Like, are you gaining anything from thinking them? Because we all kind of have to process certain things and deal with things. And sometimes negative thoughts come up, but are you revisiting the same negative thoughts again and again and again without any real gain? So just paying attention to your thoughts and the thoughts that hold you down, ask yourself if you really need to be wasting your time thinking them. Okay, so I'm gonna take a step back and look at these cards together. Something's jumping out at me, and I'm reading the Hierophant with the Four of Wands. I feel like the Four of Wands, it depicts a kind of almost a domestic bliss. There's a couple talking, and I feel like this card is about relationships. And I think that for many of us, our relationships are going to be quite peaceful this week, especially romantic relationships and primary relationships. But the Hierophant is here, so I feel like while our relationships are peaceful, we might feel pressure from the outside to conform to some kind of mold when it comes to relationships. So you might feel pressure from other people that tell you you should get married, or that you should move in together, or that your relationship should be a certain way, and if your relationship doesn't follow that sort of traditional blueprint, you might experience a bit of criticism and judgment from those around you. So that's just something to be aware of. I feel like on one level, you can always just kind of ignore this, but then I'm looking at the the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is not about ignoring something. It's about taking initiative and really being clear in your communication. The swords are all about communication, and especially the Eight of Swords, it's about communicating directly and clearly. So if you feel like there's people in your life who might be giving you unsolicited advice and really letting you know their opinions about how you're living your life, or how your relationship should be, it's okay for you to really communicate clearly with them that maybe you don't necessarily need to hear their opinions. And communicating clearly what your intentions are, and whether or not their advice is welcome or not. So I think that's important this week. And I just want to notice if anything else is jumping out at me. And nothing else is, but if you've noticed something that is jumping out for you and you want to share that, please feel free to write about it in the comment section. Yeah, if you've noticed any other messages or things that you're picking up from these cards, I'd love to read about it. So I'm going to leave it there. So I want to wish you a really wonderful week. I hope everything goes beautifully for you. And thank you so much for watching.